Deobrato, you are unmuted. I mean, muted.
Sir, I
Center, Indian Heart House, Kolkata. Today we have assembled to celebrate a very important day, World Heart. The program is basically observed by the World Heart Federation, of which CSI is a member, to connect the people across the planet so that there is increase in awareness about the cardiac diseases and how to prevent them. With these few words, I request our President, Dr. P.P. Mohan sir, to welcome the audience.
Thank you. Thank you very much. My dear friends, as the world struggled to fight COVID, we have never been more aware about the importance of our and our loved ones' health. All of us are aware of the fact that cardiovascular disease remains the #1 killer. And for the unfortunate 520 million people in the globe living with a cardiovascular disease, COVID-19 has been really heartbreaking. They have been more at risk because of two facts. One, they develop more severe forms of virus, and sadly for them, even the emergency appointments are not fulfilled because of this care, and they become isolated from friends and family. Harnessing the power of digital health to improve awareness, prevention, and management of cardiovascular disease is happening in a very bright way. Technology has altered us in every sphere of life. Artificial intelligence in our own small phone. And mind you, there are more mobile phones than toothbrushes. They advise us on what to eat, how many steps you have to take, so many things. So this year, the World Heart Federation has come out with a slogan, use heart to connect. And that's about using our knowledge, using our compassion and influence to make sure that we, our loved ones, our community has the best chance to lead a heart-healthy life. Now, it's about connecting with our own heart and make sure that we nurture our heart in the most appropriate way. Digital network has the power to connect patients, their families, our friends, our other healthcare workers. No one should feel alone in this pandemic. So let us try to use this modern technology to overcome the isolation and the treatment gaps in this important time. So dear friends, use heart to connect. Thank you.
Not audible, not audible.
Somebody is speaking?
Sir, am I now audible, sir?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. P.P. Mohan sir, for your thoughtful words to everyone of us. Now, Dr. S.C. Kundu, the chairperson of World Heart Day Subcommittee, is the key person at the headquarters to organize the World Heart Day program from the very beginning. Now, we'll play a recorded message of Dr. S.C. Kundu.
নমস্কার। আজকে আমরা একটা মস্ত বড় অনুষ্ঠান সম্বন্ধে কিছু আলোচনা করব। আপনারা জানেন যে 29 সেপ্টেম্বর একটা বিখ্যাত দিন। সেই দিনটাতে আমরা সারা বিশ্বব্যাপী ওয়ার্ল্ড হার্ট ডে উদযাপন করি। সেই ওয়ার্ল্ড হার্ট ডে উদযাপন করার উদ্দেশ্য হচ্ছে যে আমাদের যে ইন্টারন্যাশনাল ওয়ার্ল্ড হার্ট ফেডারেশন তারা ঘোষণা করেছে যে 2020 সাল থেকে আমরা একটা ওয়ার্ল্ড হার্ট ডে উদযাপন করব সারা বিশ্বব্যাপী, এবং অল the cardiologists and physicians as far as possible should join. এবং এটার মেইন উদ্দেশ্য হচ্ছে যে আমরা যদি এটাকে ভালো করে অবজার্ভ করতে পারি, সাধারণ মানুষকে বোঝাতে পারি, সাধারণ মানুষের সঙ্গে আমরা থেকে তাদের কী করে আমাদের হার্ট ভালো রাখা যায়, হার্ট সুস্থ রাখা যায়, এবং যাতে আমরা দীর্ঘদিন সুস্থ শরীরে সুস্থ হার্ট নিয়ে আমরা বসবাস করতে পারি। আর এটার মেইন কয়েকটি পয়েন্ট আমরা বলবো আজকে। আমাদের অত সময় নেই, অনেক ফাংশনও রয়েছে। তো এটার মেইন কাজ হচ্ছে যে আমাদের শরীরকে সুস্থ রাখা, মনকে সুস্থ রাখা, দেহকে সুস্থ রাখা। এই জিনিসগুলো থাকতে গেলে আমরা নর্মাল আমাদের লাইফ স্প্যান, নর্মাল আমাদের বাঁচার যতদিন কথা ততদিনে আমরা প্রত্যেকে বাঁচবো, কিন্তু এগুলো ব্যতিক্রম করলে আমাদের অনেক ক্ষতি হয়ে যেতে পারে। সেই যে কটি মেইন পয়েন্ট আমরা আলোচনা করব সেটা হচ্ছে আমাদের সুষম খাদ্য। খাওয়া দাওয়াটা আমাদের সুষম হওয়া উচিত। সুষম মানে লঙ্কা, ঝাল এইসব জন্য বেশি যেন আমরা না খাই। সাধারণ স্বাভাবিক রান্না হবে, এবং যেটা আমরা পরিবারের সবাই খেতে পারি সেই ব্যবস্থাটা করতে হবে। সুষম খাদ্য অভ্যাস, এবং সেটা ঠিক টাইম মতো খেতে হবে। দুপুরের লাঞ্চটা আমার যদি 1:30 কি 1টার সময়।
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your valuable words. Now, I request Dr. Ranjan Lal Datto, the President of CSI West Bengal branch, to deliver a few words of wisdom to the audience. Sir, please unmute.
Let me at the outset congratulate the CSI headquarters taking trouble for organizing this very important medical, social, and therapeutic program in terms of World Heart Day slogan. This year's slogan is Connect to Protect. Through heart you can connect, through heart you can protect, and you can protect the heart disease as well. Now, if we talk in terms of cardiac disorder, I would give you two important statistics. One is that CV death or cardiovascular disease death is the leading cause of death all over the world, surpassing malignancy or road traffic accidents. But if you look at the COVID-19 scenario, it has been detected or it has been found that there are about more than 3.5 crores of people all over the world affected. And the death took place in about 1 to 2% cases only. This is a very important issue to remember. So how the COVID is going to affect our cardiac problem, that is a very important issue. Secondly, if you look at the cardiac scenario, irrespective of COVID, then the total number of the patient affected, total number of the complications and death is about 10 to 20% is the cause of death, or is cardiac problem is the cause of death, irrespective of COVID-19. So that makes us a very important issue. We should, in one hand, try to take care of cardiac part so far as COVID is concerned. On the other hand, we should see to it that the patients who are having cardiac disorders, non-COVID, they are getting the proper benefit, proper treatment. Most of the patients are afraid to come out of the house to get treatment. So the CSI has taken the responsibility of seeing to it that we reach out to the people who need our service most, either COVID-related cardiac disorder or COVID-unrelated cardiac disorder. And you'll be surprised to know that statistics have shown over the last 1.5 years, because of fear of COVID, most of the patients don't dare go to the hospitals or to the doctor's chamber. and that result in increased number of deaths, non-COVID cardiac death. We have to take care of that, and to take care of that, we need to get ourselves connected to the patients in different forums, one of them being telemedicine, so that we can treat them, know their problems, and they feel confident as well, so that the treatment is not deprived of, even though they are not going out of the house or reaching hospital. With this particular motto in mind, awareness, treatment, prevention, all aspects of medical sciences will be taken care of.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your encouraging words. Now, may I request Dr. Sunandan Shikdar, the Interim Honorary Secretary of CSI West Bengal Branch, to address the audience. May I request Dr. Sunandan Shikdar, the
He has not joined. He has not yet joined.
Okay, sir. Dr. Sunandan Shikdar has not joined. Today, it is a very proud moment for us to have Miss Lovelina Borgohain, the boxing champion and the Olympic bronze medalist in Tokyo Olympics 2021. In spite of her busy schedule, she has sent us the recorded message for all of us. I request Raghu to please play the recorded audio.
Hello, I am Lovelina. It is my honor to be invited by the Cardiological Society of India to be a part of this platform and be able to convey my gratitude to all the doctors serving as frontline COVID warriors on World Heart Day. As we all know, a healthy heart reduces the chance of death from COVID. Many youngsters have lost their job and are suffering from financial instability. Due to the work from home culture, we are overloaded with work, which added lots of stress, lack of sleep, and all this play a crucial role in body's immune system. Furthermore, delayed treatment has led to complications like cardiac arrest. It is a public health concern and has affected many young lives. Thus, I am also requesting you requesting you all to maintain a healthy diet, do regular exercise, and avoid any addiction. All these are secret of my success as well. I call upon you all to listen to your doctor advice so that we can fight together to protect ourselves and our country from COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lovelina Borgohain, for your excellent keynote. Now, Dr. Sunandan Shikdar, sir, are you here?
Yeah, I am here.
Now, may I request Dr. Sunandan Shikdar, the Interim Honorary Secretary of CSI West Bengal Branch, to address the audience. Sir, please.
So, good morning to everybody. In this occasion of World Heart Day, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to the Cardiological Society of India, its organizers, its secretary, president, and the president of the West Bengal branch for giving me the opportunity to speak on this auspicious occasion. So basically, World Heart Day is celebrated every year to remind the people and the population at large about the importance of habit, lifestyle, exercise, and how we think and how we live our life so that it is heart healthy. We would like to state that this year, the theme of the World Heart Day is digital health and how it can be used to prevent CVD. In our day-to-day life, especially in the pandemic times, we have seen that digital health has taken over in a large way. And in the pandemic, because of telemedicine, so many lives were saved. So coming to the point, telemedicine is one of the very important pillars of digital health. And we as cardiologists have been treating patients who are in remote areas or who are not able to access the cardiologist immediately or physically by digital means, by telemedicine, and particularly our follow-up patients. And thus, digital health has been propagated even in the remote areas of the country. The mission of the government of today is digital health in its totality. So not only telemedicine, there are other aspects to the digital health also. As we know that there is a possibility that in future, we will have a digital card by which all the data related to a particular patient's cardiovascular disease can be kept, and that can be transferred from hospital to hospital. And this is also another big step and a big leap in the digital health. Apart from this, there is a big area where digital health is taking over, and that is data analytics and research. So because of this digital health, we have a huge amount of data every day being generated, and that can be purposefully used in finding out how the cardiovascular disease is caused and what treatment can be given for those cardiovascular diseases. So data analytics, artificial intelligence are coming in a big way in research, cardiovascular research, and that is one of the important ways by which digital health is changing our lives. Besides this, there is another way in which digital health is affecting how we treat cardiovascular disease and its patients. That is, the digital health is also coming up in inpatient and outpatient records. So inpatient and outpatient records, we have a lot of data being generated that can be utilized for better management of the patients and for the better management even of the hospital logistics and hospital management and different sorts of ways in which hospital the chain of events or the flow of materials can be influenced. So in that way, digital health is a new aspect which has been shown by the pandemic. Without this pandemic, suddenly this digital health may not have come to the forefront. It may have come to the forefront after a few years, but it has been coming to the forefront in the last year because of the pandemic. So I wish everybody good health, and because of this pandemic, we would like to say that we are all together with the Cardiologic Society of India, its presidents, its secretaries, all are working tirelessly to provide benefits regarding the prevention of cardiologic disease, regarding its treatment. And we would like to say that we would come to the common man. We would like to raise awareness about different aspects of cardiologic disease, one of which is smoking, other is lifestyle change, daily exercise. And year after year, CSI has been organizing this World Heart Day so that people are made aware of the cardiologic disease that they face and that change the lives of so many young patients also, change the lives of the breadwinners. So thank you everybody. Thank you President sir. Thank you Secretary sir and all the CSI office bearers and also the CSI staffs for giving me opportunity to speak on this World Heart Day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your excellent deliberation. Now, may I request our immediate past president, Dr. Mrinal Kanti Das, for unveiling of Connect to Protect collage. Sir, please.
Raghu, are you ready?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can start. Please start.
Good afternoon, everyone on the screen and off the screen, including all dignitaries, EC members, and participants to this World Heart Day program today. I am immensely pleased to unveil the CSI collage made of the faces of the cardiologists from our country, a largest of its kind in the history of CSI or any professional body in India. Already more than 4,000 hearty doctors with messages have participated to form this collage. My hearty regards to all of them and all those who have joined today for the World Heart Day program. I'm sure our heart-to-heart contact and communication on how to overcome heart disease with various lifestyle measures and appropriate use of drugs and devices will usher into a new era of equitable participation of all the people to have a disease-free, healthy heart. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your valuable words. Now, I request Mr. Anandram Narsimhan, the Managing Director of MARC, to give his message on the occasion of World Heart Day. Sir, are you here?
He's just joining in. He lost the connection. Just give us one moment. He'll be there. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Video down for Chana. Original.
Sir, are you here? He's just joining in. He lost the connection. Just give us one moment. He'll be there. Thank you so
Video
much.
down with it. Sound আছে sound. Sound দেখেন না sound ঠিক আছে আছে এই এটা কি তাহলে অফ করে দাও
স্যার শব্দ শিখা স্যার এইভাবে আপনি একটু শুনুন
বুঝে না দেখাচ্ছেন এইখানে দেখাচ্ছে আপনারা আসছে উপরে দেখাচ্ছে
Anand, you're there. You can address the. You can start.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. Thank you, Anand.
So, Vinita, can I start?
I request Mr. Anandram Narsimhan, the Managing Director of MARC, to give his message on the occasion of World Heart Day.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that warm welcome. And I hope all of you are keeping safe and are healthy. First of all, I want to start by thanking Dr. Mohan, the president of CSI, for giving me this opportunity, but also for, and wanted to mention upfront itself, we really value our partnership with the CSI at Merck, sir. I'm honored to be part of this Cardiological Society of India World Heart Day celebrations, and being amongst esteemed members of the healthcare fraternity and some very, very senior doctors. At Merck, we have been focusing on driving innovation in science and technology for real and measurable improvement in patient lives. I think patients are at the center of our universe, and we have been doing this for years, for hundreds of years. That's been our single-minded focus. And we are united as one for patients to help create, improve, and prolong lives. Within healthcare, we have been a serious player in cardiology for many decades. More than 80 million or 8 crore patients worldwide use our cardiovascular, metabolism, and endocrinology medications every day. Our GM&D portfolio, as we call it, which stands for General Medicine and Endocrinology, comprises of gold standard brands that are well positioned to meet the needs of the increasing number of people affected by these conditions. As such, we aspire to bring health to every single patient with diabetes, hypertension, growth hormone disorders, and hypothyroidism, in turn helping them to live their life to its full potential. Over the past 1.5 years, we have all been affected by the pandemic. I want to take this opportunity to let you know that Merck stands by the healthcare practitioners fraternity, and we want to thank you for continuing to serve the patients despite the many challenges. Being in the business of healthcare for the last 350 years, we take pride in the legacy that we will emerge victorious from this pandemic. While our customers are fighting all aspects of the novel coronavirus, so are we. True to our purpose as one for patients, we ensured continued supply of medicines and supported many initiatives, including donation of 2 million 2 million masks to support frontline healthcare workers, collaboration with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to accelerate the development, manufacture, and delivery of vaccines, diagnostics, and treatments for COVID-19. And in India, we distributed masks for police at the ESI hospitals. We have made a lot of donations. And in addition, we have done a lot of CSR initiatives wherein we have donated concentrators, oxygen concentrators, oxygen generation plants. So there's been a huge amount of money also that we have allocated towards our corporate social responsibility initiatives during the times of this pandemic. Our association with CSI is deep and valued. And this has been a long-standing association that we have had that is based on the common foundation between Merck and CSI, which is scientific excellence and care for patients. This year, we are proud to partner with the CSI at the launch of the first ever heart rate logo during World Hypertension Day. We were extremely delighted to be a part of this activity, which raised awareness on heart rate control amongst cardiac patients. We were also happy to be a part of the Radio Pledge campaign along with CSI on Doctors' Day, July the 1st, to bring focus on cardiac health. And here we are today with yet another valuable contribution. Merck Healthcare India is extremely happy to partner with the CSI in this unique initiative, Connect to Protect, harnessing the power of digital to connect and raise awareness and management of cardiovascular health. This wonderful Connect to Protect collage that was just unveiled truly depicts the spirit of oneness. Getting doctors to become a part of the largest doctors' collage, connecting with patients remotely, sharing the personal messages on heart care. This is indeed a feat, and a special one at that. Kudos to the team who have worked tirelessly behind in the back end and have ensured all this through tireless efforts. And thank you to all the doctors for being a part of this special initiative. I would like to close by actually sharing a few thoughts, which is around the fact that we are absolutely determined to bring the required change through our efforts and collaboration. None of this is possible without the continuous support of our stakeholders, our healthcare practitioners. We greatly value our association with the Cardiological Society of India and assure you of our continued partnership towards improving the cardiac health in our country. I understand that this is going to be a very, very interesting seminar on digital application for CVD prevention, scheduled as part of the agenda following my message. I'm really looking forward to it, and I would like to wish all the participants all the very best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your unstinted support for this program. Now, we shall have a very important seminar on digital application for CVD presentation. The moderator of the session is Dr. Partho Sarothi Banerjee, and the participants are all executive members of CSI. Before the interactive session start, I invite Dr. Anirban Biswas, Professor of Department of Information Technology, IIEST Shibpur, to address the audience on the occasion of World Heart Day.
Thank you. I thank the organizers, Cardiological Society of India, for inviting me to give a talk on this World Heart Day. Now, the cardiovascular disease is a very important one with respect to the health of general people. When we think about a cardiovascular disease, such problems the general persons feel, I'll see it from the perspective of a general person, that how he is going to deal with it. Now, when we are facing such a problem, then what can happen is that we need immediate attention. As I understand, probably the doctors are better judge of it. As I understand, for such a problem, when you face such cardiac problems, we need immediate attention. If the attention is given to the patient very quickly, then we can take care of the patient in a much better way. In this respect, there are certain different works are going on. In fact, we are also working on an area where if one part is the immediate attention, how can we give with respect to the doctors and the availability of the nursing home, etc. On the other hand, can we think of something which is a long-term, on a long-term basis? Like one work is going on, looking at the genome sequence of a certain person. Can we really predict that this person is going to face some trouble with respect to cardiac issues? This person is going to face some trouble at this age. So that there comes the concept of artificial intelligence. People are working in this area with respect to the genome sequence. If we can give the input that this is the person who has faced such trouble, this is the history. So this is what we call in terms of technology, deep learning technology, that we have a training data set. That means 1,000 people, for 1,000 people, we know the history. So this history is fed to the machine. The machine will learn that what are the different things, what are the different, I should say, what are the different features where from we can conclude that this person is going to face trouble and this person is not going to face trouble. If you're going to take up such a, if you're going to take up such a project on deep learning, then there are several issues. As I felt that we did some work in the area of breast cancer also. So the patient data, because deep learning or artificial intelligence is largely dependent upon the data that you are feeding to the machine. So the patient data, how you are going to share with the machine or with the technological people. So that portion we should work out. And then we can find a model of deep learning which can give us a good idea in the area that whether this person is going to face some trouble. I have mentioned only one point. There are many respected doctors here who work in this area. You are the better judge to tell us, the technologists, that what are the features or which, apart from the genome sequencing, etc., what are the other features that will be useful for the purpose of artificial intelligence as an input to the artificial intelligence machine. Okay. Let me tell you one thing, that artificial intelligence have been very, very successful in many of the areas with a high accuracy rate. So this is the area which is going to flourish in the coming years. On the other hand, other thing, as I was discussing with Dr. Debabrata Roy, that another point is that if you want to provide some care to the people in this era of digital era of mobile technology and then the GPS positioning system, if you take them together, then for a person where he is now, and if the person is somewhere near in a certain place and nearby there are certain nursing home, etc., if the person is facing some trouble, then immediately you can connect it to a particular nursing home or particular doctor who is available in that area. So this we can take up. You might have heard of that Apple watches. They monitor the heartbeat, bit rate, and then they just give some trouble. So this has been a reality, and in a big way we should embrace this technology, that certain parameters, the physical parameters of a patient, if we can monitor, and along with the position of that person and the available doctors around, with that, if we can connect them together. And also, probably as it is a few days back, there was a mission by the central government that digital number for a particular person with respect to healthcare will be maintained. If that is going to happen, there will be lots of challenges in that also, as I understand that the privacy of the data of the particular of a particular patient, that we have the privacy, how we are going to maintain it, that we have to see. But otherwise, that is also going to add to this digital maintenance of certain diseases in a big way. And as you know that we should at a national level, we should have a certain kind of disease map, not only the cardiovascular disease, even apart from that, for other diseases also, we should be able to have some kind of disease map of the country so that we can mobilize our resources in that area. With this brief introduction, brief words, I'll conclude here. Thank you once again to the organizers for inviting me. Thank you so much.
Please stay with us. Dr. Vishwas, please stay with us.
Yes, I'll mute.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable words. Now, I request Dr. Saptarshi Das, the Senior Lecturer, Department of Mathematics, University of Exeter, UK, to deliberate on application of artificial intelligence in cardiovascular disease prevention. Sir, please.
Chandan, has he joined, Chandan?
Dr. Saptarshi Das, are you here, sir?
No, he has not joined yet. Chandan.
Sir.
He has not joined yet. Let us start the discussion. You request Dr. P.S. Banerjee to start the discussion. He will join shortly. Okay?
Okay, sir. Now I request Dr. Parthasarathi Banerjee to start the panel discussion with all the participants.
Thank you very much, the organizer and all the audience who are present in this meeting today. It's a very, very important date for the Cardiological Society, the World Heart Day. And you all know that the theme of this 2021 theme for the World Heart Day celebration is Connect Heart to Protect. So with that in mind, we'll have a panel discussion involving some of our EC members and the president of local branch, West Bengal branch, and also the guest, Dr. Sanjay, Dr. Anirban Vishwas, and Dr. Das, who will be shortly joining, hopefully. And the answer should be given in a 2 minutes time because we have to cover many of the panelists in this discussion. So we all know that the central government is also promoting the application of the digital app for reaching to the people at the remote areas, and the use of the health technology helps to use the advancement of the treatment so that the people at the urban areas, so also in the remote areas, can be connected through these health apps, should get the guidance proper for the early diagnosis and the management of cardiovascular diseases. So hopefully in years to come, this digital app will go a long way for the early diagnosis and management of the cardiac diseases and other diseases. And we hope that with the encouragement for the central government, this will progress to a significant extent in our country in years to come. So with that, the initial talk, I will now request Dr. M.K. Das, who will start ball the rolling and he is the immediate past president of CSI. Dr. Das, please answer in 2 minutes time. Now, what is the significance of the collage which you have just unveiled few minutes back? What is the significance?
Thank you very much, Dr. P.S. Banerjee. This CSI collage is a beautiful concept pairing with the theme of this year's World Heart Day program, that is Connect Heart to Protect Heart. Most important emphasis on this connection has been the digital mode. Actually, all the people actually downloaded the link, and then they put their message, put their photographs, and all through digital technology. The collage is the biggest of its kind in the history of CSI, and the messages all that have been put are put digitally, and the unveiling of the transmission and the collage has been linked to the website of CSI and other websites have been done through digital technology. This digital concept should inspire all of us to use the digital technology more and more to save many lives, especially those people who are at the fringe of the places and fringe of the society. If they can have the access digitally, which is very easy because of the availability of the smartphones, so they can have the connection with the doctors and healthcare delivery system through the various apps as well as the digital connection modes. So that's the idea of this collage, that we are connecting ourselves, our hearts, to all other people's heart, so that their hearts are well protected. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Das, for your nice elaboration of the question. Now I will move to Dr. P.P. Mohanan, who is the president of Cardiological Society of India. Dr. Mohanan, your question: what are the digital ways of connecting heart to protect? Dr. Mohanan is there? Dr. Mohanan, are you there?
No, sir. He just left a message in the chat box, but I think he's gone for something.
Has he left? Raghu, has he left?
Yes, I think so, sir. Yeah.
Okay, now I move to Dr. Anjanlal Datta, who is the president of the West Bengal Cardiological Society of India. Dr. Datta, you have a short question. What is the role of telemedicine in taking care of cardiovascular disease, especially during the COVID pandemic time? Dr. Datta, please.
Unmute yourself, Dr. Datta.
Thank you, Dr. Banerjee, and thanks to the Cardiological Society of India, all the members, active participants. The question about telemedicine has come in a big way over the last 3-4 years. But this has become particularly more important in this pandemic because COVID is affecting our health in many ways. So far as cardiology is concerned, two important ways that COVID affects us is that the COVID disease per se may affect the severe disorder or disease system as a complication or mechanism of action. The second, that the patient may have some CV disorder, ischemic heart disease or stroke incidents, suffering from that. Nothing to do with COVID, but the patient is unwilling to go to see a doctor, unwilling to report to the hospital in time, and that is resulting in increased incidence of complications and mortality, even though they are not affected by COVID. We can overcome this great distance between the patient and the doctors by various mechanisms, and one of them is telemedicine. And this telemedicine has been accepted by Medical Council of India, Governor of Medicine, new body, have accepted or have approved telemedicine. By telemedicine, we will not only reach out to the patient or patient's heart, this telemedicine is also very important and has plus points in the sense that it takes the diagnosis and treatment very fast, faster than when you see physically. It can be percolated down to the grassroots level where the economically backward or socially backward patients can also get the benefit. It may prevent the heart disease, and that preventing aspect is also there. And finally, what is important is the cost saving. So cost prevention, quick, and reaching out to the greater segment of population through telemedicine has become a reality now. So when we have distance, when we have a problem to meet physically, we meet through telemedicine, technology and communication platform to overcome the distance. And that is going to be a very important issue, a factor in the successful control of cardiovascular disorders, other than what we have already been pitching, and also in this area of COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you very much. Unmute.
For use of telemedicine, for the guidance of the patient and the people who cannot come out of home during this pandemic time, to guide them how to diagnose and get treatment through the online service. So I think this will go a long way in years to come. So next I move to Dr. R.K. Jadhav. Is he there? Dr. Jadhav, are you there? He is the editor of the Indian Heart Journal. Are you there, Dr. Jadhav?
Rakesh
Jadhav? Okay. So he is not there. We'll try to find out whether he comes later on. So now I move to Dr. Sanjay Tyagi. He is head of the Department of Cardiology at GB Pant Hospital, Delhi. So Dr. Tyagi, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for joining with us. So what is your message to the mass for using digital connection in the prevention of the cardiovascular disease?
Good afternoon, Professor Banerjee, Dr. Devbrat, Dr. M.K. Das, fellow EC members, and all the participants of World Heart Day program of Cardiological Society of India. As you know, cardiovascular diseases, which include heart diseases and stroke, are #1 killer in India and worldwide. So a healthy heart is the key to healthy life. So on this World Heart Day, I would request all the participants and their patients whom they look after to look after your own heart and the heart of your patients by eating a heart healthy diet, saying no to tobacco, and getting plenty of exercise, controlling your blood sugar and lipid levels. Digital tools like phone apps and wearables can help you in guiding to have a healthy heart. Phones and digital networks help to connect to patients with families, friends, and doctors. Never avoid calling in emergency if you think you need it. Use digital technology to overcome gaps in care and isolation, which have become more in COVID times. ECG and heart rhythm can be easily transmitted over phone. So important in country like ours, where cardiac services are scarce outside cities. Digital tools can help you detect irregular heartbeats, early detection and treatment of heart attack and heart failure. So I would say, listen to your heart and use digital connection to prevent heart diseases and early treatment for yourself and your loved ones. Wish you a healthy heart. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Tyagi, for your nice deliberation of the subject. Now we all know that the people awareness is very important to use correctly the digital technology for getting the good advice from the doctors and get the correct treatment at the earliest part when the heart disease arises. So now we move to Dr. Nitish Naik, who is a professor of cardiology at New Delhi All India Institute of Medical Science. Dr. Naik, are you there? Dr. Naik, Nitish Naik?
Yes, sir, I'm here, sir.
Okay, so I'll just put a short question to you. How the application of the artificial intelligence can reduce the symptoms of balloon time in STEMI patients, symptom to balloon time?
So artificial intelligence has come in a big way in helping early recognition and diagnosis of myocardial infarction. And this has happened in a variety of ways. There are wearable technologies that help us pick up myocardial infarction, and artificial intelligence has been aiding us. And they have moved beyond the ECG. They're looking at other things. In a similarly, artificial intelligence is being used in current day to monitor home environments to pick up cardiac arrest. So they are looking at artificial intelligence by hooking it up to the speakers to the phones and helping in early diagnosis of cardiac arrest, because majority of the cardiac arrests are due to myocardial infarction. And also artificial intelligence is also being used to diagnose patients who may have unstable angina or coronary artery disease from even a routine 12-lead ECG, which does not show evidence of ST segment elevation or ST segment depression. So this is the way that we see electro ECG diagnostics moving forward. And now there are also other devices that are coming in, like patch recorders, which will help us to pick up patients who are at risk for myocardial infarction in the future. So I think all these things put together are certainly going to help us in early diagnosis of myocardial infarction, reduce symptom to balloon or symptom to needle times, and help us in achieving our goals, which is reducing patient delay, as well as reducing system delays within the hospital to improve outcomes of myocardial infarction patients, both ST elevation and non-ST elevation. So I think it has a big role to play, and the future is certainly bright, and we look forward to new ways to help our patients. And on this note, I would like to wish all of you a very happy World Heart Day, and let's keep fit and keep our hearts healthy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Naik, for your nice talk. And we all know this digital technology, including the artificial intelligence, can go a long way to improve the STEMI care in our country as well as like in Western country. And we can improve the survival rate as well as reduce the complication from STEMI and other features of acute coronary syndrome. So now I move to Dr. Anirban Biswas. Now, Dr. Biswas, I hope you are there.
Yeah, he's there. Dr. Banerjee, it is not
Yes.
Anirban, Arindam Biswas.
Sorry, Arindam Biswas. So are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, I'm sorry. Dr. Arindam Biswas. Could you enlighten us about the application of the information technology that has changed the management of diseases recently, like the Arogya Setu and COIN apps? So what are their implications in the cardiovascular disease?
Yeah, in fact, as you have mentioned, that the application of Arogya Setu or COIN app, it is a massive success on the part of the country that we could manage such a huge population with the help of the Arogya Setu or COIN app. If you look at the COIN app, the vaccination program, the way they have managed for such a big population, it is really commendable. And what they have done is that they have provided the nearest vaccination center which is available, and it is in a very short time, and it's not very easy to deal such a huge data. And that has been done by this COIN app. And also Arogya Setu, if you have used Arogya Setu, you will see that Arogya Setu has given you the chance of tracing the COVID patients, that if somebody is nearby you, so that has given us the chance. Now, Arogya Setu could have been much more successful if the awareness on our part was, on the part of the general mass, was that if we share our information, then it is going to benefit the society as a whole. So that awareness probably a little lacking was there. Now these two application apps or the use of the information technology for this purpose has given us big confidence that we can deal with it in other areas also. If you look at that cardiovascular disease or this kind of care, if you want to provide, then why should we not be able to come up with a proper app which will take care of the status of every Indian in the country? And accordingly, if we can provide that this is your vaccination center nearby, then why we will not be able to provide that these are the doctors, or these are the nursing homes, these are the hospitals nearby, healthcare centers nearby. And it is, as I was going through the deliberations of the different people, that it is really heartwarming to see on the part of the doctor that he have realized that outside the city area, the cardiac care is really very scarce, and that part we should also be able to address. So in sitting in the city in Calcutta, probably what we are talking about, the app and all these things, that will help us, but the people who are outside the city area, that it will be much more helpful for them. And it is indeed possible, given the technology, given the connectivity we have on the telephone lines, mobile phones, which we could not think of about 10 or 15 years back. But now the connectivity is very reliable. The GPS, the positioning system is very reliable. And also we can gather data, and the computational facility is in India, what we have, it is at par. So I believe that if the Cardiological Society of India, if they come forward and along with the government, health, etc., we can come up with a proper app which is going to embrace the whole population of India. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vishwas. So for your nice advice and suggestions as regards the use of these apps for helping the people, not only in the urban area, but also in the people who are living in the very remote areas where the facilities are very minimum. And I think with the advancement of time, we will get more and more such user-friendly apps so that we can apply for the early diagnosis, treatment, and guidance to the people who are staying in the rural areas or in very remote areas. Thank you. So now next question to Dr. Vitul Kumar Gupta. We all know him a very good social worker, rather social reformer, and the human rights. And also he is very interested in cardiac disease prevention. So I will ask Dr. Vitul Gupta, please explain how CSI and other professional bodies can promote the digital technology to connect the people in the remote areas so that they can get the up-to-date information as regards the prevention and treatment of the diseases. Dr. Vitul Gupta.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me some time to speak on this rather very important subject. When I was reading today, Tribune has a very good editorial on the similar subject, because our Honorable Prime Minister has launched the digital Ayushman Bharat scheme. So in this context, the press is coming out with different versions. So basically, no doubt, digitalization is a very good tool, but as we can compare it with facilities at the airport for some and facilities at the railway station for majority. So for majority of the people, it is the primary care strengthening of the system which is going to help. But for the literate and the middle class and higher middle class, or you can say above the middle class, digital technology can benefit a lot of things. But for majority of the population, we need to strengthen the primary health care, which is going for prevention. And role of CSI or CSI-like organizations become larger than life in three aspects: in generating the data for benefits of digitalization and benefits of grassroots strengthening of the primary health care; advocacy. Advocacy is very important, that academic data is going to percolate and substantiate the policies of the government, that along with digitalization, if we are not going to improve the primary healthcare infrastructure and increase the health budget to more than 2.5% of the GDP, now we are spending less than 1% of the GDP. And the CSI can spread awareness with digitalization as well as without digitalization, going in remote areas, having awareness camps or awareness talks. Like a few days back, the CSI has come up with a video, I think at the time of our President M.K. Das, It was very good initiative. So I attended by one function where the poster competition was organized by Dr. M.K. Das. It was a great initiative. So I think CSI should generate data, advocacy, that along with digitalization, we should strengthen the primary healthcare, increase the healthcare budget to more than 2.5% of GDP, and awareness campaign. So that is my proposal for the role of CSI. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Gupta, for your nice talk and wonderful advice. So now I will move to Dr. Praful Kirkar.
Sir, 1 minute. Dr. Saptarshi Das, our other expert, has joined from UK.
So can we go ahead with him?
Yeah.
Is he like to give a talk now, or we should ask him the question?
He can give his deliberation so that we can have more discussion on that. What he says
let him
on that.
Let him give the deliberation first. So I request Dr. Saptarshi Das. So you can start your deliberation now, Dr. Saptarshi Das.
Thank you. I'm trying to share my screen. Can you all see my screen?
Yeah, you are visible and audible both.
Okay.
It's okay.
Thank you. Good morning. Thanks for inviting me for this conference. So I'm going to talk about around 10-15 minutes, and then we can have a discussion. So the topic is about digital application for cardiovascular disease prevention. Just a little bit of my background. I did power engineering from Jadavpur University, India, and master's and then PhD there. And then I moved to UK. I was in University of Southampton and then University of Strathclyde and then Cambridge, working on signal processing and artificial intelligence algorithms. So right now I am a senior lecturer in the Department of Mathematics at the University of Exeter. And I'm also the Institute for Data Science and Artificial Intelligence theme lead for the Cornwall Hub. So I'm going to talk about how ECG signals that can give us an idea of different type of heart disease. So here's a little bit of modeling stuff. So I'll just show you what sort of research I did during my postdoctoral studies, and then it is still ongoing with a lot of other MSc and PhD students. So basically what we looked at was, if we have different type of let's say 12 channel ECG signals, or even a single channel single lead ECG, how we can use it to make certain dynamic system models. So if we look at this particular picture, so as you know, ECG signal is basically a superimposition of different action potentials generated from different chambers of the heart or different locations. So we have this atrium, the ventricles, and the His-Purkinje fiber. So basically these are modeled as different oscillators or certain differential equations or some mathematical representation of them. So the whole affair here, the meaning of these graphs are basically how we can parameterize a particular patient's ECG signal and then try to estimate these parameters. So the coefficients like this epsilon, alpha, and all these values. So the importance of doing this is in a patient-specific way, we can characterize what is the heart condition in a normal condition, or if that particular patient develops certain type of ailments like ventricular tachycardia or fibrillation. So then what sort of personalized medicine or like personalized let's say some ICD shock, something like that can be given. So the main challenges here is in any ECG signal processing problem is like artifact removal, or if you have like high frequency noise and all these problems. And if you want, how one can estimate parameters. So one can write down these equations in a various different ways and compare between different models. For discrimination or identification of different type of heart diseases, Basically, this is a problem of univariate or multivariate time series data classification. So what we looked at was typically a 12 lead electrocardiogram signal, and this website Physionet has got a large bank of wide variety of heart diseases. So what is first needed is to extract certain features or some meaningful measurable properties of the data or the ECG signals. So it can be from a single ECG, like time domain measures like QT intervals, RR intervals, heart rate variability, or any other time domain parameter of the ECG signals, or we can transform the signal into the frequency domain and then look at the Fourier or wavelet or short time Fourier transform. So these are basically some methods that transforms the raw time series data or the ECG data into a different domain, and then we extract different features from it. So the standard statistical measures are basically mean, variance, skewness, kurtosis. These are moments or like the characteristics of the histogram or the distribution of the data. Or in a transform domain, from the raw data like weight, centroid, all these parameters. Or one can also look at the correlation structure of the data. So this is basically called the cross-correlation, cross-correlogram or autocorrelogram. So from these data, or even the frequency and the phase of the Fourier domain, which is called coherence. So from these performance measures, one can extract meaningful features. Not necessarily all of them are already used in clinical practices. So we collaborated with a couple of quite a lot of ECG experts or cardiologists in UK. So not necessarily these frequency domain measures are right now used in hospitals, but people are interested to understand how we can develop a automated monitoring system where without even having any person or like any expert cardiologist sitting there, and a machine learning algorithm or an AI algorithm can tell us about the heart conditions automatically, and then an expert can look at that. So it can be a first stage screening without any manual intervention. So I'd not go into too much detail. So these are a couple of more complex features to look at, and it is important yet to understand what does that mean. So for example, if I have high kurtosis somewhere in a data, so it basically shows the peaky nature of it, or left skewed or right skewed, something like that. So these are performance measures, but finally after extracting these features, we feed it in a neural network or support vector machine or k nearest neighbor. So these are basically AI algorithms or machine learning algorithms that learns from data. So if we show a lot of examples of certain type of diseases, then it starts picking up different of these. It automatically learns how to classify new data sets. So another useful stuff. So this is a new method we developed, which is basically transforming the time series data into something called phase portraits or phase space. So we have ECG data like this. So we apply filtering to have remove the baseline wandering. So it's basically a high pass or band pass filtering task. And then we take successive 10 or let's say it can have like variable length of window size. So you take consecutive ECG bits and then delay the sample. So if I have, let's say, a signal xt, which is the time series data like this, and then I delay the signal xt minus tau or t minus 20, so it's a 20 millisecond delay, and then plot one of them against the other. So it becomes like, if you have a regular ECG signal, it becomes like this, okay? And for healthy signals, healthy ECG, you'll see this is going to be kind of a period, you'll see a periodic pattern. But when you have more complex behavior, like it is going towards like tachycardia or ventricular fibrillation leading to heart attacks, so you'll see it starts making something like a chaos. So it and there are some theories which says like when you have regular pacing, heart pacing, then you get this sort of periodicity. If you have ventricular premature beats, you can see like some wandering around. Or when you have serious ailments, then you have you start seeing this the images are going towards chaotic behavior. So initially we applied, we tried it on just ventricular tachycardia and fibrillation, and later on it has been extended to many other type of diseases. So for example, you can look at here like healthy QRS interval or unhealthy PR intervals. So these are different type of like specific type of problems. I don't have much understanding of the like time domain terminologies because that's a more of like a cardiological nomenclature, but you can clearly understand from the ECG signal. So this is like a regular pacing, and then you have certain type episodes where it is breaking down, or the morphology is getting changed. So a lot of different things are happening, but the question is how we can extract features, or like what information do we feed in the machine learning algorithms? That's the main question here. Okay, so I mean, identifying one versus, so this one versus that one, it's a pretty easy task for directly from the time series. But when you have a lot of such examples or a lot of complex cases, it is difficult, and that's why you need to transform this into a high dimensional space, and then you start seeing different, clear patterns, which is very easily identifiable or like relatable to tachycardia or fibrillation. So we extended that into a multi-class problem, and then so I will explain the whole processing pipeline. So you have raw ECG signal, then it could be 12 lead or single lead, whatever suits. So then you apply some filters for noise removal, low pass or high pass filter. So low pass filter removes the noise, and high pass filter removes the baseline wandering. And then one need to normalize the data and then apply this delay and generate this phase space reconstruction images, or the phase space images like this. And then you divide this into smaller segments, which I showed. So you just make a grid like this, and then you just count the boxes, how many boxes these lines has gone through. So as a proportion to the number of boxes you have got on this square domain. So that gives a number, and that's how we calculate something called fractal dimension or something like that. So it's a measure of self-similarity or fractality, and based on that, so this is just one of the features. But as you can see from the, I hope like most of you are familiar with this graph. It's pretty much used in almost all medical statistics. It's called receiver operator characteristics. That is saying how reliably I'm being able to classify each of these diseases. So we tried normal. So the first class is normal atrial fibrillation, which is not that fatal, but the rest like VT, ventricular tachycardia, ventricular fibrillation, then ventricular tachycardia followed by fibrillation. So these are 5 classes, and these many instances, the data set is quite unbalanced. So we have less episodes of this, and we have more episodes of atrial fibrillation and normal cases. And we got something like quite high accuracy, and quantified in terms of various performance metrics, sensitivity, specificity, accuracy, positive predictive value, or false discovery ratio, F1 score. So these are performance metrics that tells you how good the classification measures are. Yeah. So as compared to the time, like raw time series data. Okay. So this is a generic framework. So what we, just to summarize, there is no standard way how we can use or like post-process the continuous stream of ECG signals and make inference of it, or like use it to classify different type of diseases. So one can try time series data. We tried various different methods. Firstly, extracting features directly from the raw data, or RR interval, heart rate variability, all these parameters. Then frequency domain. So far, what we saw that if you are trying to identify the fatal diseases or onset of arrhythmia, something like that, so this phase-space reconstruction method is really powerful. And after we published a few papers, a lot of people also started citing it, and it's now getting more attention, and we're still working on this sort of ideas. Yeah, so this is just a picture explaining how the phase space behaviors gets changed. Not necessarily we'll have to constrain ourselves within 2 dimensions. So here, in this sort of discrimination task, the choice of the delay term plays a crucial role, because if you change the so here we have xt versus xt minus 20 seconds delay. Here you have 80 seconds delay. The patterns gets changed. Okay, but in general, whenever you see this sort of chaotic behavior, that means it is leading towards a fatal arrhythmia. And where you see more periodic patterns, then it means it could be gentle problems like atrial fibrillation, or even normal ECG, like normal heartbeats. Yeah. So these are a couple of papers. Yeah, we published.
Finish your talk.
That's all, I think.
So thank you for your nice talk. Any questions from the audience or participants? Any question to Dr. Das? So I have one point. Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Dr. Das,
Yes.
MK Das.
Yeah. Dr. Das again. It's a phenomenal lecture. Really, I loved your lecture like anything, because of the fact that I'm quite interested in the digital technology, artificial intelligence, and deep learning and machine learning things, because I'm working on some of the aspects. Now, my specific question to you is, ECG is a single parameter in our clinical assessment. Is one of the parameters. There are so many other factors. And the most important actually factor that starts with assessment of a patient is symptom, then from symptom to sign, and then of course the investigation like ECG and other things. While we were trying to form an algorithm from the symptoms and diagnosis and all these things, where I was getting some difficulty because of the fact that the symptom or the diagnosis, they were all clubbed together in the process, and they were showing as sometimes as the cause, sometimes as the effect.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the thing, that was the problem we are facing in developing the real algorithm to filter some of the findings and then going to the next step. And what is your advice regarding this particular issue, so that we can rule out something, cause and effect relationships are not merged together?
Okay, I think that's a great question. So basically, so ECGs are like, it depends on the infrastructure. So in UK, at least, like these are not that expensive. Yeah, but for certain type of heart diseases, maybe you may need to have more costly data collection process. For example, like cardiac MRI or something like that, or like ultrasonic scanning, something like that. Yeah. So typically, like whenever, like if everything is going all right, the patient is saying I'm not feeling any chest pain or anything like that. So I hope by symptoms you're meaning like if somebody feels some sort of physical trouble. So like how you can quantify that. So here, most of the algorithms I showed, it was like how one can extract features from ECG signals when, let's say, the patient is lying on bed in a hospital setting or at home, or you can just have like implantable ECG sensors on body, and then it is basically taking data automatically and sending in a computer for automatic processing. And then even without like sometimes what happens, the patient doesn't know what is going on. Yeah, so whether the algorithm can automatically find the risk of arrhythmia or like any cardiac disease. So that's what we worked on. But definitely you can add additional symptoms like chest pain or breathlessness, or I don't know, maybe some other parameters like people have also tried like galvanic or like skin response, many other things, food habit. Yeah, so you can add those features and train a AI algorithm to have more discriminatory power on a large data bank. So here the biggest challenge we found that, because you need to, in order to claim that our algorithm works, you need to have to test it on a large data bank. So collecting that sort of data is really a challenging task. And if you have full scanning results, for example, like imaging sort of stuff, cardiac, any sort of imaging task, then there will be even large amount of data to process. Okay, so
may I just interrupt? What will be the exact number or just approximate number so that you can get appropriate result or appropriate algorithm after analyzing those? What will be the exact or appropriate number?
Exact number of patients, you mean?
Yes.
So it all depends on how we how we treat the data. So from even like less number of patients, you can have long stream of ECG signals, and then one can segment the signals into smaller parts and then extract features and train the algorithm. So so there is no consensus in the literature. So typically few hundreds would be fine, but I know like with increasing number of patients, the cost and everything for this sort of trials becomes huge, and it's unmanageable also, and with the patient consent and all that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think we should now move on. We already passed the time. So now I'm going to Dr. Praful Kelkar. Is he there, Dr. Kelkar? Is he there? So if he is not there, then I will ask a question to Dr. Barun Narayan. I think Dr. Barun Narayan, you are there? Dr. Barun Narayan?
Yes.
So can you kindly, I'll just give you a short question. Now, what are the ways by which the people with acute myocardial infarction can be picked up earliest using the digital technology?
Yeah, as you mentioned, that we have to create this hub and spoke pattern. To my mind, this is applicable everywhere, whether it is STEMI or it is prevention of coronary artery disease, it is applicable everywhere. So anybody who has any symptoms, we need to create an awareness in the app, which will tell us as to what are the presenting symptoms of an acute myocardial infarction. In simple terms, the quality of chest pain, the duration of chest pain, and then we can give a facility at a hub, or let us speak of a spoke where the patient can give his ECG, and this ECG can be transmitted to the center or the hub, where any member of the CSI is available on a particular day and he can give his advice. And the hospitals nearby are identified, and then the patient can be shifted according to his or her choice to that center. So I think that is the pattern which we are expecting, and we are also using in a very large number of cities, where patients are able to convey their symptoms, their ECGs onto a center from where patient is guided to a place where PCI is available, or if PCI is not available, at least thrombolysis is available. So that I think is the basic what we can do for our patients.
Thank you. So that by how you can reduce ultimately the minimum time you can give attention.
Yes.
So that
and in our hospital, we have developed a rapid response team also. In the hospital where now I am working, we have a rapid response team, and there is an emergency number, and anywhere around a circumference of about 20 kilometers, anybody who has, and we have through the media spread awareness in terms of the symptomatology, among the risk factors, etc. So anybody with symptoms suggestive of an acute coronary syndrome can contact us on these numbers, and we have a rapid response team, and a fully equipped ambulance goes there, an ECG is taken, and the ECG is then conveyed back to our hospital, and their consultant is available who talks to the person concerned, advises him as to what is to be done. If hospitalization is essential, then we ask him to come over, and we do not bring it always to our hospital. Any hospital the patient wants to go, the patient is shifted, and thereby we're able to save that time. We are at the moment not giving thrombolysis at the point of contact. That we're able to do only when the patient is shifted to the hospital. But at least the diagnosis is made, and the patient is given an opportunity to be shifted in time for a primary preventive strategy.
That means early diagnosis and early shifting to the tertiary care center, or the patient can go for the pharmacoinvasive therapy.
Yes.
Even in the ambulance, the patient can take the thrombolytic therapy.
Yeah, at the moment, in our hospital, we are not thrombolizing in the ambulance or in the point of contact because of logistics and because of the apprehension people have in their minds of being treated on the spot. They are more comfortable coming to the hospital and being treated, and the team also is a little comfortable because some issues come up, if something happens at home at the point of contact, then the patient creates a rumpus and there's a
So you can reduce the symptom to needle time as early as possible.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you, Dr. Varun Narayan. So now I'll move to Dr. Soumitra Ray. Is he there, Dr. Soumitra Ray?
Yes, sir, I am there.
I have a question for you. Now, how to use the medical technologies like echo and imaging and other imaging technique, which can be sent across to your peer group for further opinion and confirmation of the management of a cardiac disease.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Banerjee, our incoming president, past president, Dr. Das, and our very dynamic secretary, Dr. Debabrata Rai, and our guest, Dr. Vishwas and Dr. Das, and all my colleagues. Thank you. As you know, our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, even before the COVID situation, asked our NITI Aayog to develop a national digital health framework with two objectives. One is to get the national registry of the health of the people. And number two, for individual patient and doctor to share their data on the same platform, so that there can be easy access and interchange of thoughts and data amongst ourselves. But we have to be careful about the privacy and transparency of that, and we should do all the activities with the full consent of our patients. Now, we have got various platforms, including WhatsApp platform, Facebook platform, Google platform, to share our data. We can make a small group of our colleagues whom we are confident about and comfortable with to share the data. Say I have got an echo and an angiogram and some sort of other things, which I'm not very sure I want a second opinion. But I have to be clear that the patient should be taken into confidence before sharing the data with my colleague or a second person. And then we can have a small group of doctors where we can actually, people are doing that, giving an angiogram, asking for the diagnosis, asking for the best management. So that is a very interesting way. I think we look forward to that, to spread it. And in our CSI headquarters, we have got a huge central server, which in the terms of not gigabyte, but in terms of petabyte. So we can actually collect all this data through a central server so that they are ready in store, and we can use that whenever there is a demand or a request for access from either any stakeholder, either doctor or industry, or say government or semi-governmental organizations. But as I again mentioned, it has to be in a transparent way and with the full consent of our patients.
Thank you, Dr. Rai. It's a good suggestion that CSI can also come ahead or come forward to use this digital technology and give advice to the remote areas of any part of the country, so that the people get the appropriate advice and the management at the earliest. So I have another question for Dr. C.V. Meena. Are you there, Dr. C.V. Meena? So can anybody highlight the question like using the digital therapeutics? That means that in the digital technology era, how you can utilize the digital therapeutics for further improvement of the healthcare delivery system. Can somebody highlight this question? Dr. Das, MK Das, Dr. Debabrata Rai.
I think there are other participants as well. Dr. Jayagopal, Dr. Satyendra Tiwari, anybody of them.
Anyone who are present in the panel discussion, kindly response to this question. How Jayagopal, can you answer this question? What are the barriers in the healthcare delivery system, and how the digital therapeutics can help in this respect? Jayagopal, are you there?
And Dr. Chandraman Meena, Chandraman Meena is not the Satyendra Tiwari. Are you there? No, if there are no takers, then just I'll suggest some of the things that there are so many.
Dr. Jayagopal is wanting to say something, but is muted. Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Carry on.
So we are just discussing, Jayagopal, that we know that we have some barrier in the healthcare delivery system. So how the digital therapeutics can help in this respect?
I think, sir, this has been a really a golden opportunity for networking. I think because various areas, the virtual listing has really transformed the whole healthcare delivery. Because right from patient management to not only that, I think even in terms of getting the services of experts. For example, let's look at heart failure itself. So there's been a tremendous improvement. In fact, we have been, just glad to let you know that, one of the heart failure papers just got published in Global Health, where we were looking at quality improvement measures. And this is one area where, digital technology can revolutionize. For example, we can even connect with the stakeholders. For example, the people, the smaller hospitals in the periphery, even the other stakeholders are also who look after the care. So we are actually looking at simple measures like weight gain, adherence to medications, and all these things. So I think that there's a golden opportunity there to make sure that these are things which can really be taken to much greater heights. And again, if you want this to be connected to the experts, for example, areas where you're not really happy with the care in the rural areas. So I think the expertise of the healthcare, the specialists can also be given to the periphery through the digital technology. I think the world a wonderful opportunity. Actually, COVID has given us a lot of insights into this. That's how I feel about it.
May I supplement with one or two comments?
Yes, sir.
You can go ahead.
Yeah. I think one question that has been raised by Dr. P.V. Jayagopal is the rural-urban divide. Definitely, this is a great barrier. We'll have to overcome this. But how can we do this? Before that, I would like to highlight that there are certain important barriers in healthcare delivery system, especially the cardiac healthcare delivery system. One is definitely the patient's inertia. Second is doctor's inertia. And third is the payers or the insurance system inertia. So these are some of the barriers we will have to overcome. The most important part in the patient's inertia sector is that they forget to take the medicine, or they forget to take all the pills, and they don't take up the exercise. They are not measuring the urine output and fluid intake and all these things because of some inertia or the resistance in their mind set up. And that's the point where the digital therapeutics means there are certain apps which will make one remind that your next pill is due on this, or you have not taken up the pill, or you have not taken up the exercise today, or you have not taken the appropriate diet today. So those kind of things can be actually prescribed through the app itself instantaneously, not by delayed technique. It can be given just by questioning or just by putting the data itself. Same way, the doctor also, they are also reluctant. There is also inertia factor where many medications are not given. So they can be reminded that you have not given the beta blocker, you have not given the ARNI or the diuretics or like that, or you can increase the amount as per the data that have been provided by the patients. So there is a scope of the digital therapeutics. This is different from digital app which diagnose the various disorders of cardiovascular system, machine learning and all. So you can give them the therapeutic aspects of taking care of the cardiovascular disease.
Thank you, Dr. Das. Now,
Dr.
yes,
Banerjee, I think this is a very important point that Dr. Das has made. Actually, Niti Aayog, in its position statement, which was published in 2018, has already lined out two important areas where the digital application can be made for betterment of healthcare. So one is to ensure a uniform quality of healthcare. So as Dr. Das has rightly pointed out, an uniform and guideline-directed medical therapy should be ensured to the patient, and this can be done electronically. Second is better accessibility, because in India there are still very remote areas where the healthcare provider or the expert doctor's advice cannot be accessed. So there the digital application, this is where the digital application comes in. And I can just tell you what I got from the journals, one experience from China, but they have utilized just a health worker with an app. So in that app, he can enter the blood pressure and the basic blood tests. And through artificial intelligence, a diagnosis can be made with 99.9% accuracy, and a proper treatment chart can be, a prescription can be made and handed over to the patient. So this app has been tried in a very remote area in China with considerable success.
Perhaps can I say?
Yes,
Perhaps another area where we can take a leaf out of this Swedish national this thing is their digital revolution is anything that takes place in Sweden, any healthcare, for example, right from hospitalization to prescription medicines, control of hypertension, all these things, they can take one press of the button, they can get the data of every patient. So I think there is a huge future for it. For example, if you want to look at the hypertension control in our country, if you have the access to it's very single, it's like a universal, number code for a patient. So you get to know whether this patient has taken antihypertensive medications that he has purchased. And so the control of hypertension, and as he has rightly pointed out by Dr. Roy, if they have an app and they are able to upload their BP readings, so we absolutely get an idea about the control. So the general trend in the country, everything will be very much in our database. I think this is a great step forward.
Yeah, that's right. It's a great chance.
But I want to ask both the experts. See, what can be the hurdles to go for such an app where we can collect the patient's data and can give regular feedback? What can be the hurdles in the Indian scenario as far as your engineering side is concerned?
Maybe
Dr. Das and Dr. Biswas, please.
Yes, maybe I can. So the first problem is to decide, to archive the data in one place, because I hope this sort of data collection is going to be kind of streamed case, like you collect continuous stream of data and different episodes where you have observed some ailments, some disease, like irregular heartbeats. So collecting different type of heart diseases, like a kind of data bank for like various types of cases in one place, and extracting features, training of these, and getting consent to feed it in a machine learning algorithm, scaling it up. So I think all of these together is a big engineering or IT problem. So it's always a small scale study that we do even whenever we have a multi center study. So it's like in a huge country like India, if we collect a lot of data and archive it in one place, it may need to use a lot of recent days high performance computing and all these challenges, like the technologies.
Thank you, Dr. Das. So any question from the audience, like Dr. Katyal, are you there? Have you any comment on this today's discussion of using the digital technology in the health system, especially the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease? Dr. S.N. Tiwari, are you there? So I think we have already come to the end of this panel discussion, and I extend my thanks to all the participants, especially the engineering friends, Dr. Das, Dr. Biswas, for taking their time to participate in this important discussion. And now I ask our secretary, Dr. Devbrata Rai, to conclude the session by giving vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. So every good thing should come to an end. So you have a very exhaustive discussion on digital application for cardiovascular disease prevention. And we got many important insights from both our experts as well as our members. And as pointed out rightly, we can use our server for collecting more data, which can be integrated and used for future purpose. So I thank all the participants, our honorable EC members, our president, Dr. P.P. Mohanan, our president-elect, Dr. P.S. Banerjee, and immediate past president, Dr. M.K. Das, to participating actively and making this program a huge success. what I came to know from our Raghu, our audiovisual man, around 800 people logged in today for this program, which is a remarkable number. I extend my thanks to our silver medalist in boxing in the recently concluded Tokyo Olympics, Miss Lavlina Borgai, to be kind enough to deliver a message, and very inspiring message, I think, to all of us on the occasion of this World Heart Day. I extend my thanks to Mark for allowing an unrestricted academic grant to make this program possible, as well as to make the digital platform Connect to Protect see the light of the day. Actually, this is the largest virtual platform, as told to me by the technical support team, and maybe will approach some book of records to enter this achievement on behalf of the CSI. Lastly, I want to thank all our office staffs at the Indian headquarters for their unstinted support, and Mr. Raghu of Medcom Solutions to be there with us with all his technical support. So thank you. Have a great day and have a great World Heart Day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Recording stopped.
Thank you, sir. So this is Raghu. You want to talk to me?